Hello and welcome to our final war activity in week 10. This war activity is going to review commas and semicolons. Now, while there is no general rule that I could put together in a concise little package for you, there are several pages within the APA manual, 155 and 156, that discuss the proper use of commas and semicolons, and some of this we've gone over in some of the previous war activities as well. So the serial comma, or an Oxford comma, I've never heard it called a Harvard comma, but I guess that's also a name, is basically when you have three or more items, the last item needs to also have a comma. So here we have factors of personality. They include, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items here, and this next to last item has a comma as well as the other items. If you have items that are separated that already have commas in them. So here, this is one item, the presence of positive affect, with an example here, such as whether people feel happy and peaceful. The absence of negative affect, such as. And so these list items have commas already. So this is one list item, two list items, and three list items. So because they already have the comma here, we need to separate those items with a semicolon. A particular note, it also says here that serial commas are also used in lettered lists. So it's the same rules. You have that serial comma or that Oxford comma that goes before the last, or goes after the last, second to last item. If those items contain semicolons, or commas, sorry, you're going to separate those list items with semicolons. This is just showing you here, we used the letters to draw more attention to these list items, and they're in parentheses, but note how here they are separated with semicolons, because this one here has a comma. Not every item had a comma, but this one did, so we separated these items with a semicolon. Now, it's also important to understand the proper use of when to use a semicolon. So just basic grammar rules, a semicolon is going to separate two independent clauses that are not conjoined by a conjunction. Such as here, participants in the first study were paid. It's a complete independent clause. Those in the second study were unpaid. Second independent clause. We put them together with a semicolon. In my writing, typically just separate out the sentences, but you can be grammatically correct and use a semicolon. A couple of other things that might be of interest, or maybe something you will be doing, is you notice here are two citations. So these are parenthetical citations, and it already has a comma. So both of these already have commas. So these two items are separated by a semicolon. The same thing would follow if you say maybe had an abbreviation and a citation in the same set of parentheses. You would then separate that abbreviation and that citation with a semicolon. Thank you for listening to War Week 10.